What if I told you that there is a country where volcanic glaciers meet, the sun does not set in summer, and the ancient Viking legends still give everyday life shape? Welcome to Iceland, fire, snow, and land of untold miracles. Stick around, because what you are about to find will blow your mind. In the first 10 seconds, your goal is to draw attention with opposite, curiosity and intensity. Iceland's extreme weather creates a real experience that can match some places on Earth. In summer, especially around June, the sun is barely set, resulting in a magical phenomenon known as the midnight sun. The days stretch endlessly, and the locals also take full advantage of hiking, golfing, and socialization under golden skies at 2 a.m. For travelers, this disorientation is but unforgettable. Imagine to step out at midnight and it still looks like noon. On the other hand, winter brings almost total darkness, especially in the north. In December, some areas get only 3 to 4 hours of low daylight. But instead of spreading it, Icelanders hug it. The houses are lit with candles and soft light, and the country slows down. It affects everything from seasonal rhythm mood to work program. What is attractive? How well Icelandic people have adapted to this contrast. They use blackout curtains and light therapy lamps in summer and winter. Schools also adjust the routine to help students cope with. Midnight inspires pleasures and productivity, while the darkness of winter brings introspection and coitus, locally known as hygge or kosi in Icelandic. Whether you are chasing light or finding peace in the dark, Iceland's extreme daylight cycle is more than a bazaar. This is a way of life. It changes the spirit of your time and teaches you to live completely in every season. The Iceland sits on the mid-Atlantic ridge, where two large-scale tectonic plates, rich Americans and Eurasians, gradually separate. This crack gives fuel to an underground world of magma chambers and geothermal activity, making Iceland one of the most volcanic active places on the planet. Recent explosions like people near Fagradalsfjall in 2021 and 2023 attracted global attention. Instead of running, locals often celebrate these events. Tourists are still steaming lava fields, and some explosions are also safely accessible to hiking. This chaos existence of danger and beauty is uniquely Icelandic. But this is not only about the dramatic burst of volcanoes, this geochemical energy daily life. More than 90% of Icelandic homes are heated with natural warm water from underground sources. The same energy fuel gives fuel to the greenhouse. Otherwise, the frozen land grows throughout the year. Then there is ice. The glaciers of Iceland cover about 11% of their land. They move slowly, cracks, and cool into lagoon filled with icebergs such as Jökulsá. So imagine, hot glaciers were standing next to hot springs. It looks like a fictional novel, but it is only Tuesday in Iceland. This duality, fire and ice, is not only natural, it is symbolic. It shows themselves to Icelandic people, flexible, adaptable, and oblivious to growing extremes. Visiting Iceland means standing at a place where the raw power of the earth is not hidden, it is proudly performing. To understand Iceland, you have to understand its passion with a warm tub. But it is not just about resting in hot water. In Iceland, geothermal pool is a method of life, a sacred social ritual, and even a form of therapy. From Reykjavik to remote mountain cities, hot tubs are found everywhere, which naturally bub the volcano with warm water. One of the most prestigious places is Blue Lagoon. A mineral-rich, milky blue spa is located in a lava region. But the locals often leave tourist destinations and heads hidden in small-town pools or highlands. These places are like public classes. People gather here after chatting, resting, and rejoining. From politics to football, it is completely normal to see the elderly people, teenagers, and families soaking together. There is deep faith in the treatment power of these water. The grounded water is rich in silica, sulfur, and other minerals, which is known to help in skin conditions such as psoriasis. But beyond physical benefits, there is a mental peace that comes from sitting in 40 degrees Celsius water while ice pieces fall around you or when staring at the northern light. In Iceland, there is no taboo about nudity in the rain. All are expected to bathe completely before entering the pool. It is not about sexuality, but about cleanliness and shared respect for communal place. This openness shows the Icelandic mindset, natural, informal, and deeply connected to the ground. So if you really want to feel Icelandic, leave the fancy spa and go to where the locals absorb. This is the place where you will find real Iceland, a steam-filled, in mineral-rich pool, surrounded by conversation, laughter, and volcanoes. Iceland is one of the few modern countries where ancient folklore is still deeply respected, even woven in its laws and construction projects. Many Icelanders believe in huldufolk, or hidden people, thought to live in rocks, hills, and remote places. In fact, there are examples where road construction was stopped or turned so that yogini houses could not be disturbed. It may look like a myth, but in Iceland, it is a cultural truth. This belief stems from a rich Norse tradition, which passed through sagas, oral story, and everyday life. There is a reverence for the land leading to environmentalism. The mountains are not just beautiful, they are sacred. The waterfall can contain souls. Rocks can be home. Even tourism also bows down in it. You will find a left tour in Reykjavik, folklore and guided hikes for places associated with ancient myths. For Icelanders, these are not just stories. They are a bridge between people and nature, between past and present. In a fast-moving world, the myth of Iceland and deep respect for the secret provides some a reminder that does not need to explain everything. Something has to be felt, confident, and honored. Iceland continuously ranks as the #1 country in the world for gender equality. And it is not just a figure, it is a cultural reality. Icelandic women are strongly active, in-depth in all areas of life. Back in 1975, women across the country went on a historic strike, refusing to work for children, cook, or take care of children for the whole day. This Women's Day of brought the country into a stagnation and real change. 5 years later, Vigdís Finnbogadóttir became the world's first democratically elected woman president and remains a national icon. Today, Icelandic women dominate areas like politics, literature, science, and business. Laws here guarantee equal pay, liberal parents' leave, and complete reproductive rights. Women play about half of the parliament and several corporate leadership roles. But it is not only about rights, it is about respect. Icelandic beauty standard emphasizes natural forms, confidence, and self-reliance. Global beauty criteria is less pressure to correspond to the criteria and more emphasis on being strong and smart. Icelandic women often lead active lifestyles, travel hiking, work out, and embrace nature in all seasons. In rural areas, women run farm, fish processing plants, and entire community. In cities, they shape policy and culture. From Viking shields to CEO offices, the Icelandic woman stands as a symbol of calm strength, flexibility, and progressive values. If you want to see what the real gender equality looks in action and how a small country is moving forward for the world, not look forward to Iceland women. Now, if we talk about Vikings, the Viking history of Iceland is not just limited to books. This is something that you can see, touch, and experience. Although the Viking era officially ended 1,000 years ago in Iceland, its soul is still alive in language, architecture, and lifestyle. One of the most attractive places to travel is Viking Village in Hafnarfjordur, a few short drives from Reykjavik. Made as a film set and now open to the public, it offers a recreated Viking colony, which is completed with warriors in turf-stained houses, long boots, and traditional dresses. The level of expansion is impressive, from hand to carved, run to smell of smoked meat in the air. But this is more than cosplay. The real Viking heritage of Iceland appears all around. Íslendingabók, or Book of Icelanders, contains lineage records to trace back original settlers, most of which were fleeing from conflicts in Scandinavia around the 9th century. Many modern Icelanders can detect their family line directly from these fearless seafers. You can also detect Skogar or Þjórsárlur, where preserved turf houses suggest how the Vikings survived the rigid climate of Iceland, using the earth as a structure in the form of insulation and stone. The Viking World Museum in Keflavik is also a full-sized replica of a Viking ship that actually left for North America, just as Leif Erikson is believed to have done about 1000 AD. Today, the language spoken in Iceland is the closest living relative of Old Norse. This means that Icelandic children can still read the epic stories of ancient Greens, gods, betrayal, and cruel winter in their original form. Walking through the Viking village or catching a replica sword is not just a tourist fun. It is about connecting with a deep, proud past. In Iceland, history is not behind glass. It is still informed by firelight under your feet, in stones and stories. Iceland has a reputation to be progressive and cold, and when it comes to adult subjects, the country keeps it honest, respectable, and surprisingly open-minded. Start with nudity. In public geothermal pools and hot springs, nudity is expected in shower, not optional. Before entering, you should bathe completely without swimsuits in communal shower areas, men and women separately. For Icelanders, it is not sexual. This is just cleanliness. And while there are no official naked beaches, many secluded hot springs or natural pools such as Reykjadalur or Landmannalaugar are fabric optional. As long as you are respectable, no one kills I. Next, let's talk about sex laws. The Iceland follows the Nordic model, where selling sex is legal but not to buy it. This law passed in 2009 is to protect sexual workers from exploitation, discouraging demand. Strip clubs were banned in 2010, and there is a national emphasis on gender respect and equality. But Iceland does not hide its curiosity about sexuality. In fact, it is the home of the Icelandic Museum in Reykjavik. Yes, a museum is completely dedicated to the gender of all species, including humans, whales, and trolls. What started as a project of a bizarre collector is now a major tourist attraction. Porn is legal and regulated, but the country keeps a close watch on violence and exploitation. Education about consent and gender equality starts early in schools. In addition, Iceland's dating scene is famously casual. Apps such as Tinder are popular, especially in Reykjavik, and hookup is a strong culture of transparency. With a small population less than 400,000, most Icelanders are somehow associated. So many use a dating app, which they are not accidentally dating a cousin, to ensure that they are accidentally dating. In short, Iceland may look cool and remote, but it is surprisingly open, shutila, and liberal, a place where nature is wild, but the brain is progressive. And you have this Iceland, a land where fire and ice shares the same breath, where the ancient gods still whispered in the air, and where modern life dances fearlessly with myths and mystery. From the warm tub filled with steam, filled hot tubs under the frozen sky, to the lava rivers next to the glaciers, Iceland is not just a destination, this is an awakening. Whether you are chasing the midnight sun or standing under the northern light, this island will change something inside you. This does not show you the raw power of nature, it invites you to stay in the rhythm with it. So next time you hear the word Iceland, just don't think cold, think bold, think magical, think of timeless. Till then, keep searching, be surprised, and remember, some places do not mean just to visit, they are to be felt. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more interesting video. See you in the next video. Goodbye.